When you and I think about this, right, if somebody 5 years ago or 10 years ago had offered us the ability to only show up 3 days a week in the office, we would have been jumping up and down like, oh my gosh, what an amazing perk. And now employees are actually protesting having to come in that often. But here, look, the bottom line is, Joe, that if it wasn't clear already, it is absolutely clear now that there is no going back to quote unquote normal. There is no going back to just 5 days a week in the office, period. It's really, it's dead. At this point, 2.5 years into the pandemic, we're not going to see it. And the problem is that there are a lot of reasons to go back, that bosses want people to go back, that are actually really legitimate reasons. I mean, culture, understanding, getting the mentoring that you need. If you think about, when I was a young reporter, I started out at the Wall Street Journal. The reason the way that I learned how to be a reporter was by listening to my colleagues in this big bullpen and how they were handling their sources and the right questions to ask, the way to act. And you miss that if you're not in the office. So I get all the reasons why bosses in particular, want you back in the office, and they are legitimate. At the same time, the reasons why people don't want to go back are also legitimate, and we've got to pay attention to that. I just saw a stat by Nick Bloom, who you've probably had on. He's at Stanford, and he's been studying this work from home. And he said that people just by not commuting are saving 200 million hours of commuting hours per week, which is quite astonishing, right? So this is real time that people are getting back. And the other issue, I think a huge issue that we're not paying enough attention to, is the inequities of going back to the office. It's easier for some people to go back to the office. And if you look at the research, the people who are more likely to want to work at home are women, particularly women who have kids at home, people of color who have to deal with, code switching, who may live further away in different communities. You have a real risk, if you're demanding that people come back, that you are going to lose really, really valuable people. And that the other thing is, right, the people who show up, there's a thing called proximity bias, that you naturally are going to they're getting the opportunities, the stretch opportunities, right, the promotions, the great, and so these are really, really tricky issues to deal with. But the fact is, Joe, we just can't go back to where we were. I don't think we're going to see sort of, that retro. I think the old ways are gone.
There's nuance to all this, Alan, but is there anything you just outright disagree with that Joanne just said? All good points. How would you? I don't know what's the right answer. Do you disagree?
Joe, don't necessarily disagree. Joanne covered it at a high level, but let's get into the real commercial impact. So from a statistical standpoint, data says that of those who commute, our survey recently, 97% of those who commute say that they will work more from home than they will work if they return back to the office. So that's number one. Number two, again, talking about impact, there's this thing our CEO came out with a couple of weeks ago. Many others have talked about it. It's called quiet quitting. So here's the deal. As you said, in the old days, you'd come back because the boss said come back. What's going to happen is those that want to come back, they're fine. We don't have to be worried about them. What we have to be concerned about as leaders is those that don't want to come back. And how do we strike the balance where they do what the corporation believes the company needs to do, but we also do it in a way that they're relatively satisfied? If not, you're going to get a certain level of quiet quitting. What's quiet quitting? Every one of us has discretionary energy that we bring to work. There's the amount of work I need to give you to keep my job. And then there's that amount of work that I can give you that I got in the tank that I'll give you if I'm really motivated and I'm really, let's say, empowered. The quiet quitting is what we have to focus on in returning people to work. We have to have those folks empowered. We have to have them really, really engaged. And that will mitigate the negative impact of this, quote, change from this thing where we got to work from home. We had a lot of flexibility. We're losing some of it. I'm not so happy about that. However, my leadership is sort of making up for that gap.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.